We didn't even get to talk about Teri Moren. We got to talk about Teri Moren before we go, and that job she's done.
Absolutely. How national coach of the year.
Yeah.
But not just that. I mean, that was I was very, very disappointed that they did not make the Final Four. I expected that to happen. What a tough reach, but they've got a great team coming back next year.
Exactly. Well, you can't give 4 steps on that last play. I mean, they made some mistakes in the game. Obviously, Miami made some mistakes. Miami found a way to win it, but my only hope there with Teri, because I loved working with her. I think she's excellent. She could become the Tom Izzo of the Big Ten in the sense, and I say that in this way. She loves the school. She loves being there, right? Well, the one thing that Michigan State figured out pretty early on was not to take Tom Izzo for granted. And that's why they learned early, okay, we're a national level program now, and we're going to treat Tom Izzo and this staff and this program like a national level program. And what Teri is doing at Indiana is so unprecedented in the way that she's doing it. And I hope that they understand what they have in her. I really do, because if she was ever on the open market and the sense of, why couldn't she be doing what Kim Mulkey's doing? I mean, all those type of people. I mean, she's a championship builder, okay? And she's got championships to prove it. And I think she's awesome. I think she's built continuity with her staff. She's built development inside of her program. And obviously I haven't been there in some years now to see it on a day-to-day basis. But I was there when she was building it on a day-to-day basis. And I saw those hard days. And I just hope that people back there, I know her fan base doesn't take her for granted. I hope that the school doesn't take her for granted, because that lady is she's not a star, she's a superstar. She's an absolute superstar. And I hope she's there a long time, but I hope they understand what they have in her. And because she needs to be rewarded and treated that way. I have no doubt in my mind.
Well, I agree exactly with everything you're saying. What she has done is amazing, and she has done it recruiting hard, coaching well, and all the other things you said about having the continuity on her staff with Rhett Wurzba and those people, and finding the right players. She has found everything you said earlier as well. She found the right players to fit what she wanted to do, and it is working out beautifully. And there's no reason to think that will not continue, like you said, as a Tom Izzo type. I never didn't think of relating her to that way, but the women's game is becoming
obviously 25, 26 years, right? But I was there and then at Marquette in those early years, when everybody looked at it, hey, Tom loves Michigan State. Well, absolutely he does. There's no doubt about it. But Tom was also a national level coach. And what happens sometimes is it's really easy to earmark or pigeonhole somebody. Well, they really love this. And this is just me speaking. This is just me speaking from being an observer, and watching this from the outside. She's that good. And I think it happened at Georgia a little bit. I think they almost took Joni Taylor for granted there, and then she moved on to Texas A&M. And the Georgia program was able to win this year based on what Joni Taylor had built in it. But Joni Taylor at Georgia was building something outstanding. And the bottom line is, when you've got a star like that, it's so important that they take care of her in the way that everybody around the country knows it, because that's how she's going to continue to build that program. What she's doing is very, very uncommon, and it's very, very uncommon at Indiana basketball on the women's side. And so for her to be filling that arena, I mean, you and I know I've been in there when there were probably 2,500 people in that building, right? Maybe. I've been in there when there were maybe 4,000 for an NIT game in the past. Now they're putting 17,000 and a half in there. Come on.
Crazy. That's just crazy.
Don't take it for granted. She's really good, man. She's really good.
She is I believe in a contract year, coincidentally.
She should be in a contract year any year she has a year like that. Right? It shouldn't be about I don't even know what her deal is, but it shouldn't be about that, right? I mean, it should be. I don't know how many years she has on it, but again,
I think she's entering. I believe next year is her last year.
Oh yeah, that's even contract, and that's even more urgency then. right?
Yes.
Because those are the kind of people. She's the kind of people you're proactive with, you're not reactive with, and that's the difference so many times in administrations: who's proactive versus who's reactive. And I think for her, you've got an absolute program builder, and now she's shown sustainer. And I think it's one thing to build it; it's another thing to sustain it. And it's a lot harder than people realize on all sides. So I think she's great. So
And she is, and she's easy to be around. When you listen to her talk after a loss, after the heart-wrenching loss to Miami, she had it in perspective more so than most people. And I think, wow, that's really tough to do right after the loss, but to be able to have that perspective, it shows a lot.
well, no question. In the seat that I sit in now, I mean, I just know how respected she was at ESPN, and she's not a secret, right? Like what she's doing is not a secret. And now, especially with the way this tournament has gone this year, and you see the numbers, the ratings for the game the other night with South Carolina and LSU, the ratings for tomorrow or yesterday are going to be phenomenal. Now there's talk of a new television contract. I mean, women's basketball deserves and has been moving forward, but it's going to move forward maybe at a much higher level right now than people can even imagine. So, because I mean, I just look at what they do at ESPN and my little corner of the world in Bristol, Connecticut, when I'm in there, and I see how important it is there. So when you see it taking off that way, they've got something they want to make sure that they do everything they can possibly do to hold on to, because she's building a great program.